Hi, I'm Senator Chuck Grassley. This is my weekly webcast. Last week we were on Memorial Day break. I gave some speeches on Memorial Day and did some other things in Iowa. Returning this week for about 4 or 5 weeks of session before we break for the July 4th break. During this period of time we'll be taking up a lot of important issues. Each week, you know, I'm in a different part of the Capitol building, Capitol complex. This time I'm in Hart 511. Hart building, room 511, is Senator Baucus' suite. I'm in the conference room where Senator Baucus and I meet from 5 to 6 every Tuesday, and for other meetings as well, but most regularly 5 to 6, to go over the agenda of the Senate Finance Committee. We've been meeting on a regular basis for the last 9 years. Sometimes I'm chairman. Now he's chairman and will probably be chairman for a long time with the supermajority that the Democrats have. But we have been able to work in a bipartisan way to produce product out of the committee, whether I'm chairman or whether he's chairman. We're working on some very tough issues right now. The next tough issue is going to be the reform of the health care system in America, and hopefully we can get a bipartisan agreement to do that. You'll see some pictures of Senator Mike Mansfield, the longest serving majority leader of the United States Senate. He served there the last 18 years of the, I believe, 30 years that he's been in the United States Senate. He was a predecessor of Senator Baucus, and I think Senator Baucus is somewhat a disciple of Mike Mansfield, because Mike Mansfield wanted to do things in a bipartisan way, most importantly have the Senate function. And that's pretty much what Senator Baucus does as chairman of this committee, in the same respect as Mike Mansfield did as a senator from Montana while he was majority leader. Now we're in a situation where this week we're going to have up 2 pieces of legislation. One, a railroad antitrust bill, which modifies antitrust law vis-a-vis railroads to some extent. I'm a co-sponsor of that bill with Senator Cole of Wisconsin. And then we're going to have up the Food and Drug Administration of the tobacco issue. And I think those 2 things will pretty much keep us busy this week. There'll be committee meetings and things of that nature, but for the most part, the floor of the Senate will have those 2 issues. As usual, I have 2 questions that were emailed to me. One by Kathleen of Cedar Rapids. Will school vouchers be on the table when Congress attempts education reform? Well, I'm sure that there are going to be some votes on school vouchers. I'm an advocate for school vouchers for Washington, D.C. as a demonstration project. I think they've served a good purpose here, and moving beyond that would be a good thing to do as well. I'm not one of those that's in the forefront of promoting it, and I probably would have been a person that has held back some on issues like that, because I think the public school system has to be strengthened. But I have found through a demonstration project here in Washington, D.C., that families that have made use of the school voucher have had very much more progress made by their kids in school than those that were assigned to the typical neighborhood school that they went to. The second issue is the current administration singling out agriculture with new PA regulations. That comes from Kathy, Marshalltown, not to be confused with Kathleen of Cedar Rapids on the previous question. I believe in 4 areas. Indirect land use is a factor in determining the environmental positiveness of ethanol is number 1. Number 2, the fugitive dust issue, where you're expected to keep dust from working your farmland within the confines of your property lines. And the tax on cows because of methane that comes from their manure. And then lastly, areas of having EPA permit use of pesticides and herbicides on farms just because it comes from a nozzle of a sprayer, as opposed to the usual point source pollution, where you figure the pollution is coming from a sewage pipe, for instance, from a city or from an industry. Agriculture has never been affected by point solution, because point pollution, because we figured that it's always non-point source pollution come out of most farms. But there is an attempt to regulate indirectly pesticide use because of the nozzle of a sprayer. Now, maybe none of those four things make sense to you. I think it's not a common sense approach by EPA, but they're inclined to do it. So over the next 3 or 4 weeks, we'll be doing another webcast until we adjourn for the July 4th break. In the meantime, I hope you'll email me, as you traditionally do, and expect an answer to a couple questions at the end of the next webcast. In the meantime, you'll get, if you didn't get them answered on the webcast, they will be answered by mail. Thank you all very much.